Good morning, guys. How you doing? It is Thursday night for us, Friday morning for you guys. It is quite late. Yesterday, I didn't get to get a devotional to you because, as you guys know, on Wednesday night when we have our Bible study, I usually get home very late. Today, it's very late again, man. But I didn't want to not do a video. I know many of you, wake up and want to be encouraged and want to just hear something to help your day go along. And we are about to go to sleep, actually. And um, Sharon's right here. She's finishing something up in the computer, and I said, I got to do something, even if it's saying hello. But I just want to remind you guys. Well, first of all, the Bible study. If you have not been watching the Bible study, which I'm pretty sure most of you have, and it's getting really, really good, And I'm not to say that the from this point, since we started, isn't good, but it's just getting very interesting, and I'm hoping that you are taking advantage of that and just reading through Daniel with us. And there are just so many things that are now going to start coming clear to you, because, like I said before, um, Revelations is hard enough. The book of Revelation is hard enough already, but without understanding the book of Daniel, it makes it even harder than it is. So I just wanted to encourage you, to continue to join us on our Wednesday Bible studies, And again, I'm going to remind you again, make sure that, please, to vote for Sharon. She is still number one. I remember the very first time when I asked you, she was in third place, which is an amazing thing already. But guys, the moment I put the YouTube and put it on Facebook, and Sharon put it on Facebook, like within that hour, she was shot up to number one. The thing is that we have no idea how close number two is to her. We don't know if it's far. We don't know if it's close. So guys, just keep voting. You get a free vote every single day. And I think it's for 7 more days.
Oh, it's after tomorrow, it'll be 5 more days.
Yeah, after tomorrow. So it'll be 5 more days. So just keep voting until it ends, guys. And that's actually, when you go on there, it has a little clock, a little calendar. That's a countdown calendar. And it just continues to, you see it moving. That way you know when the contest ends. But we're so excited. I'm so proud of her. And she's added more pictures. So if you know where it shows her photo, if you continue to scroll, it shows all the pictures of some of the different things that she has made, and you can actually click on it and see them close up, one picture by one. Because if you just go like that, it just shows a whole bunch of, like, a montage of pictures, And but guys, thank you so much for voting for her. I love to see her excitement, and the confidence is building in her, because she is an amazing, amazing cook and chef and baker and everything else. And I'm just really, really happy, for her. And man, it would just be awesome if she continues to stay number one. The people on the bottom, we can see them kind of, one will push up, and then this one will go down, and one will push up, but she has stayed number one. And I do believe also that the favor of God, and I'm not saying anything about the other people, but here's one thing about Sharon, is that she takes it literally, that when we do things unto the Lord, and we do it with excellence. And just comparing her photos to the photos of some of the other people, you can see the difference in that, guys. And I think maybe that's what I do want to talk about just for a few minutes. It's late, guys, and I apologize, but I do want to talk about that. Is that, we just finished watching very inspiring movie, Flaming Hot. It was on Disney Plus, about the guy that invented or created the spicy Cheeto, or the hot Cheeto. I remember growing up, and there was no, I know kids today think that spicy chips have always existed, but they didn't. Remember, there was never those things at all, right? That's why growing up, we would buy Doritos or whatever, and we would dip it in salsa. That's just been a normal thing, or you get I didn't use tapatio myself. I didn't grow up with tapatio. I grew up more with the Crystal Louisiana hot sauce and put that on stuff. But nevertheless, it's the same thing, you know. And it was just a really cool movie to watch because a lot of times it's a good reflection of the fact that when we do something, we do it with excellence. You know, the other day, you know, Pastor Larry and his wife came to do the walkthrough in the new building. You know, uh, um, with the what's his title?
With the property manager.
Property, yeah. I always forget with the property manager.
He's the owner.
And yeah, he's the owner of the property management company that is managing for the owner of the building, the place that we're gonna get. And so you know, Pastor Larry and his wife walked through with us through the building. You know, they're visionaries too. Even though there was no electricity and there was dust everywhere and there was a lot of mess everywhere, they were able to stand in a room and say, you know, something nice could be done. But it wasn't until after that, I don't think that they really understood, you know. And so Larry and his wife, after they toured the place, they got to talk to the property manager, and they said, hey, let's go get lunch. And we said, can we show you our church? They had never been to our church. The last time he was at our church was the previous building when it was half the size. And you guys know, guys, I don't have to tell you, everything in our little warehouse is with blood, sweat, and tears. You know, every piece of wood that was donated, everybody's skill that somebody knew how to do this, somebody knew that. We have spools, those giant spools for wires, and made tables out of them in our lobby. We got that wood fence at Home Depot, and we made and sanded it so kids wouldn't get spinas, and made a little corral with that little painting that Louis painted, and Sister Rihanna helped, and then in the sanctuary, the chairs we got from Pastor Doug and Tracy, everything. And before we got, I knew I wanted to take them over there. So before we went to the building prior, we went to the church, turned all the lights on the way it looks on a Sunday. So we walk in, you know, we brought them to the church and they walked in for the first time. And they were blown away because all this time they knew we were in a warehouse. And I don't know what that envisioned in his head. But when he walked in and his wife, they were just looking around. They saw our little cafe made out of pallets. They saw those spool tables made out of those giant wooden spools. And they walked into the sanctuary and saw the sanctuary. And they sat down in the front row. They sat on the chair where usually Sister Lydia and Pastor Al sit. And they just sat there looking around, and they were just like, this is really beautiful. Remember, babe? Mm-hmm. They were just looking around, and they said, this does not feel like a warehouse. And then they said this. Then they really got it. They both said, just seeing what you've done with the warehouse, I cannot imagine what you're going to do with that place. And then they were truly able to envision. But here's the thing. Here's what it comes down to, guys. Is that when we do something, do it with excellence. You know, I remember my brother said this, and a long time ago when I was still incarcerated, my brother Angel, who was the youth pastor at the time, he told me, David, he goes, if you have a church of 20, he goes, function that church as if it's a church of 200. And if you have a church of 200, function as if it's a church of 1,000. You know, and I've always taken that to heart. But then when Sharon came into the picture, she helped make that vision even more clear. You know, and And I was talking to Pastor Larry, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I'm not sure when he said that. And he said, don't ever call yourself a little church. It was because regardless of whatever people you have or how many people or how little people you have, he goes, always do things with excellence. And remember, he said something like, I might be not using his exact wording, but he's almost echoed the same thing my brother told me, 17 years ago when I was still incarcerated. And the building is maybe to the untrained eye might look at it right now and say, it's all right. And when Sharon and I see it, we see the possibilities. We're inspired because we know that we want to do it unto the Lord, because we should always do everything with excellence. And everything that you do, guys, in whatever craft you do, hobby you do, whatever ministry you do, evangelism, Bible study, whatever you do it with excellence. Do it in a sense that if Jesus came alongside me in the flesh, sometimes like when somebody comes over your house and it's somebody that doesn't often come and it's their first time, you're going to straighten things up. You're going to clean things. You're going to straighten things. Because it's the first impression when somebody walks in, because it's in a sense, it's honoring your guest. Well, imagine if Jesus walked in, or you knew he was coming over, or you knew he was going to sit in on your Bible study, or you knew he was going to go and evangelize with you, or you knew he was going to go, whatever it is, this is what drove us. Like I remember when I went to the prison in Texas. You guys remember that I saw their projector, and it was horrible. The letters were barely visible. It was blurry. It was an old projector. And I said, you know what, guys? I'm going to go back to Modesto, and we're going to raise up funds, and we're going to get you the same projector that we have. We're not going to get you a second-hand one. We're not going to get you one inferior to ours, because this is the house of God. It doesn't matter if this is in a prison or in Modesto, it's still the house of God, and we always want to do things with excellence. And I didn't want to do nothing less than the projector we had, because I know we have maybe it's not the best projector in the world, but it's pretty good. And we ended up getting them the same one. Why? Because we always want to give our best to the house of the Lord, because that's where people are going to get saved. So even in prison, that's where inmates are going to get saved. That's where they're going to get filled with the Spirit of God. That's where they're going to learn and learn to grow and be discipled. It's beautiful because they have all these paintings around. In the prison, the chapel should be the most beautiful place of the whole prison. Why? Because we give God our best. And I believe in the same thing with the places of worship. Because this belongs to all of us. This isn't my and Sharon's church. This is our church. This is where we go to fellowship, to learn, to be discipled, to be counseled, to have encounters with the living God. This is the place where we usher the Spirit of God in a place where children's hearts can be moved, so where they pray on their knees on the altar with little kids worshiping and singing. See, this is the place. This is ours. And we do it with excellence. And so I just want to encourage you, and just seeing that movie was inspiring too, because just because he was a janitor, so many people said, you're nothing but a janitor, just be a janitor. And yet he himself would believe that at times. And if you haven't seen the movie, please watch it. It's on Disney Plus. It's on, I don't know what else, I think Hulu.
Not PG-13. I mean, there's a little bit of cussing in there.
And I think Hulu, and I forgot what else. Somebody said it was on Hulu. I think it's PG-13. I'm not sure. But,
But one, there's a little bit of foul.
huh?
A little bit of foul.
Yeah, there's a little bit of foul language in it. Not, I don't think it's ever said the F word. But it's a very inspiring movie. It's a true story. And I think it's a story that touches a lot of people, because a lot of times, guys, we, whatever it is that the world sees us as, many times we see ourselves as that, and we stay there and get stuck there, and there's so much more in us. There's so many of you that if you would just believe in the gifts and the talents that you have, you wouldn't be where you are today. And I'm not talking about some job, I'm talking about the kingdom of God. I'm talking about in ministry. I'm talking as a father, as a mother, and for many years I thought I messed up as a father, and my daughter really blessed me the other day unexpectedly, because it's building up to Father's Day, and my daughter put a picture of me and her at the beach in San Francisco. She was little, and I don't remember exactly the wording that she said, but she called me a good dad, or she called me the best dad and the best grandpa, and that, guys, that meant so much to me. Because a lot of times I don't see myself through her eyes. I see myself through the failures, through the lens of my failures as a dad. And I remember when I was younger, when my daughter was little, I could see it in her eyes that I was her hero. I could see it the way she would look at me. She was stuck to me, always stuck to me. Always wanted to be next to me, even if I was on the couch, she wanted to always be coloring her coloring book, but she wanted to do it next to me. And if I was in the recording studio, guess where she was coloring? Right there in the studio, coloring, and for a long time, and maybe it's just me, I'd have to ask her, but I feel like she stopped looking at me like her superhero for many years. And I'm not saying that she never loved me or stopped loving me. I know she always loved me, but I think I stopped being her hero for a long time. But lately, maybe this last year, I see it in her eyes again, like when she was young, when she would see me. I was the dad that,
Ever since she started coming to church.
yeah, I was the dad that could rescue her. I was the dad that would always be there, like I couldn't do nothing wrong. And I see that in her eyes again, and, guys, it's never too late. Be encouraged, be inspired, do things with excellence. And if nobody notices, the Lord notices, and the Lord sees. Everything you do in word and deed, do it in the name of Jesus. Do things with no agenda. Do things only unto God, unto the Lord, everything that you do. Don't preach to please people. Don't evangelize to please people. Don't lay hands on the sick so you can tally up how many people you've prayed for and got healed. No. Do it all unto the Lord. Everything. Every single thing you do, guys. So with that, I'm going to get going. I got to get to sleep. I got a bike ride to do in the morning. And, hopefully you have a blessed weekend. Is it the third weekend, right?
This is the third one, the women's sack lunch.
Women's
We're
sack-
having a potluck.
Women's Sack Lunch Brunch at 10 o'clock Saturday. It's every third Saturday of the month. The women get together. And if any brothers show up, then we leave and we go have coffee. So if you are a brother and you want to hang out, bring your wife, drop her off there, 10 o'clock. We'll take off and we'll go do our own thing. Sometimes we'll go get coffee and we'll come back and hang out in the sanctuary because the women hang out in the front lobby. especially now that the air condition got fixed. Because it was out for a little bit. But guys, so if you happen to be at the church dropping your wife off at 10 o'clock Saturday, let me know. Then we can go in fellowship for a couple hours, and we get to maybe we'll get a Bible study in or something. So, anyways, guys, God bless you. Thank you so much. And if I don't see you, God bless you for sneezing back there.
Oh, sorry, thank you.
And if I don't see you Saturday at 10 o'clock for women's lunch brunch, and you're not there, then I'll see you on Sunday. And I'm sure that the Lord is going to give me an amazing message. There's a few things brewing in my mind right now, but I'm going to sit down and write the sermon down on Saturday, which is in a couple days. And that's it, guys. Have a great day. See you later.